Have you ever noticed how some tasks magically take exactly as long as you give them? Like, if you have a whole week to finish something that could be done in a few hours, suddenly it feels like the work must last all week. But if you only have an hour, somehow you get it done in that hour. Have you ever noticed how some tasks magically take exactly as long as you give them? Like, if you have a whole week to finish something that could be done in a few hours, suddenly it feels like the work must last all week. But if you only have an hour, somehow you get it done in that hour. Sound familiar? It's no coincidence. This phenomenon is called Parkinson's Law. And today, we're diving deep into why it happens, how it affects your life, and how to turn it into your productivity superpower. Let me take you back to 1955. Cyril Northcote Parkinson, a British naval historian and author, wrote a small essay for The Economist. In it, he observed a curious fact about bureaucracy. The amount of work in an organization tends to expand to fill the time available for its completion. He summed it up in one famous sentence: work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. At first glance, it sounds almost like a joke, but this simple insight reveals a deep truth about human nature, time management, and productivity. Imagine you're a student given 2 weeks to write a simple essay. You start with the best intentions, but the first week slips by with barely any progress. Why? Because the deadline feels far away, so your brain relaxes. Suddenly, the night before it's due, panic kicks in. You stay up all night, fueled by caffeine and stress, and finish the essay in a few intense hours. What if you only had one day to do it? Chances are you'd still manage to get it done, but in that single day, the task didn't get bigger. Instead, your brain adapted to the time you gave it. This is Parkinson's Law in action. At the core, Parkinson's Law is about human psychology. When we have a lot of time, our motivation drops, distractions increase, and perfectionism creeps in. We add unnecessary details or overthink parts of the task, making it bigger and more complicated than it needs to be. Without urgency, our brain's natural tendency is to procrastinate. Parkinson's original essay focused on bureaucracies. He noticed that government departments would grow regardless of actual work. Employees would create work for themselves and others just to justify their positions. He humorously described how the number of employees would grow by 5 to 7% per year, even if the workload didn't increase. Meetings, reports, and paperwork would balloon to fill all available time and space. This idea explains why some offices feel busy all day but produce little real output. You don't have to be a student or a government worker to experience Parkinson's Law. It shows up everywhere. The laundry that waits a week but could be done in an hour. Emails that sit unread for days. Projects that stretch out indefinitely. Recognizing this invisible force is the first step to taking control. A major cause of this expansion is procrastination. Our brains avoid unpleasant or difficult tasks until pressure forces us to act. Deadlines create that pressure. Without a deadline, tasks lose urgency and time stretches endlessly. The solution is surprisingly simple. Limit the time you allow yourself. By setting shorter, stricter deadlines, you create a sense of urgency. Suddenly, distractions fade, focus sharpens, and the task shrinks to fit the new limit. Here are some popular methods inspired by Parkinson's Law. Time boxing. Allocate fixed time periods for tasks, no matter what. Pomodoro technique. Work intensely for 25 minutes, then take a short break. Artificial deadlines. Even if the real deadline is far away, set your own earlier deadlines to stay on track. Many successful people use these principles intuitively or consciously. Writers who limit daily word counts to avoid endless rewriting. Entrepreneurs who use tight deadlines to launch products fast. Creatives who set timed sprints to overcome perfectionism. Parkinson also noted that not only work but complexity expands with time. The more time and resources we allocate, the more complicated the process becomes. This is why large projects often suffer from scope creep. The project grows beyond its original boundaries, consuming more time and budget. Businesses can harness Parkinson's Law by setting firm deadlines and limiting meetings and paperwork. Agile methods, for example, use short sprints to keep teams focused and productive. On a personal level, understanding this law helps avoid burnout and wasted time. Instead of aiming for endless perfection, aim for good enough within a set time. Set strict deadlines. Give yourself less time than you think you need. Break big tasks into smaller chunks. Each chunk gets its own deadline. Use timers. Working against the clock can boost focus. Eliminate distractions. Turn off notifications during work blocks. Review and adjust. Reflect on how time limits improve your productivity. Watch out for setting unrealistic deadlines that cause stress. Ignoring quality for speed. Forgetting to plan for breaks and rest. Balance is key. Final thoughts. Why Parkinson's Law matters. Parkinson's Law reveals a hidden truth about how we relate to time and tasks. It challenges the idea that more time means better work, showing instead that less time often leads to more productivity. By mastering this law, you can take control of your time, reduce procrastination, and get more done with less stress. If you found this video useful, hit the like button, subscribe, and share your experiences with Parkinson's Law in the comments. How do you fight procrastination? What deadlines help you stay focused? Let's discuss.